Hello everyone, welcome to episode 30 of the Scottish Silverback podcast. And Greg looks like he's bouncing in and out of the podcast. So yeah, we're back today. So we've got a few questions from Instagram, so we'll run through them. But as always, we'll kick the episode off with just a wee bit of back and forth as to what's happening. So Greg, you were talking about your shoulder there, about the BPC.
Yeah. I don't think I've told too many people, but obviously I think I started that, would it be 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's been very hard for me to try and diagnose what was actually wrong with my shoulder pain. And obviously when your pain's in your shoulder, you do think there is something wrong with your shoulder, but it turns out it was actually, well, possibly my bicep tendon. When I went through my specialist, we did like a lot of movements, like in and out with the hands and like rotating my arm in different ways, trying to go through like the rotator cuff, and it turned out like the movements that were really hurting seemed to be like an impingement in my bicep where it shouldn't be hurting.
Mm-hmm.
So we had another few movements where I was like, I really couldn't stretch to certain positions. So it was like where it was tugging from, it was where the connection of the bicep tendon is. So just been shooting it into the top of the bicep, and literally within like a week and a half, I noticed like a vast difference in the range of movement I'm getting through my shoulder, with like maybe 60 to 70 less percent of pain.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it's definitely working. So I'm going to keep running that for another 2-3 weeks, see pretty much where it is. And then
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll probably do the other side because that's started to get a little bit stiff as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been, is that?
I mean, just saying that, you see, when you lock out in a shoulder press, you said
Mm-hmm.
that like you get a lot of pain at the top. You still getting that?
Yeah. And I never go lock out then. I really just go to maybe like just before.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just, when I do, I still feel like a great amount hitting my front delt.
Mm-hmm.
My front delts are probably a little bit overdeveloped compared to like rears and sides, so I kind of want to stay away from that and keep the tension more right round the shoulder.
Yeah.
So I've never seen the need to lock fully out.
Aye. No, I think I've never extensively used BPC. If anyone wants to know any more about it, you can go to the episode with Aaron Hudson, because he tore his quads off in a brutal
And
assault.
his triceps, yeah.
And his triceps as well. So if you head to that episode, he kind of gives you a wee kind of lowdown of what he was doing BPC wise. You'll be surprised as to like doses, because I think myself included took far too little to actually do any kind of like make any significant change. I don't remember how much I was running, but it was not a lot at all. Like a bottle would last me a long time. So and that's why I've always kind of said, because you said to me that after my shoulder I'm going to use BPC, I was like, no, I'll just keep using growth.
Mm-hmm.
And because I didn't see from anything from the BPC, but obviously that's off the back of feedback where, you know, I was taking fuck all basically. So
yeah, well, I only asked a couple of people, only asked Aaron because obviously I trust him and I know that it's helped him quite extensively in the repair
Mm-hmm.
of both his tendons and stuff. But when I spoke to Callum, his was like a vastly different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Of saying like it's, what was it, 10 milligrams or 10 mcg per 1 kilo body weight.
Okay.
So obviously that equivalates up to like 1,350 spaced out with a day.
Mm-hmm.
Now the half-life of it is like what, 5 maybe hours or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
he just said obviously just take within 2 shots. I've just been doing as soon as I wake up and before I go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's helped massively. But obviously that's a whack of a dose. Like obviously with a 5 gram bottle or whatever it is, you're getting 4 shots out of it almost.
Aye.
Well, 4 days. So as much as like people say it's a cheap thing to help you, it's in the grand scheme of things, it's not that cheap.
No. The doses you actually have to use.
But then again, if it's helped me this quick, I'll have no problem paying it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Aye. How long are you going to run it for?
I think I'll run the arm. I'm doing this now, maybe another 2-3 weeks and see where it ends up. I don't think you shouldn't run it that long. I think maybe like 6 weeks is like what you should really need. But the way that it's changed within like 2 weeks is quite drastic. So I think in our 2 weeks, I should see pretty much full range of movement with minimal pain.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, I want to see how long it lasts for without it.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it comes back quick, that's fucking shit. But I'm hoping it's like released all the inflammation and kind of cured or helped what the issue was, and hopefully it stays away for a while.
Mm. So, Jack, have you ever used BPC?
Yeah, I've used BPC and TB several times over. Always on my pec, and I wish I learned it sooner. The first time it was much like yourself. I ran it probably a bit far too low a dose. The second time I did it, that's when I realised how actually expensive and it was, and the frequency of administration. I think it was 3 times a day. But it was like an incredible difference. I think the first time I injured my pec, I was 3 months away from pressing, and you could probably cut that into a third.
Yeah.
Back.
Was it actually
you tore it, didn't you? Or like put a micro tear or
it was a micro tear, yeah. And it goes really easy again and again.
My shoulder's been sore for like 5-6 years, but obviously over like the last like 2 years where I've grown quite extensively, that's when it's really started to hurt a lot. And I think it's just obviously because my body's growing in certain areas, and this is not like growing or not be able to move with it, if that makes sense. So that's where I've noticed like a big change in pain, but I've not exactly like went into a movement and tore it or like hurt it. It's just like over time gotten worse. I think the bigger I get, the more everything stretches and gets a little bit sorer. So hopefully this is a cure to an end in some way.
The only thing with peptides, I guess, is no one knows the long term. So it's like fucking.
No. But then, I mean, I took a cortisol shot in the shoulder before that, and people said that's like the worst thing to do. But in terms of like because the pain wasn't just targeted there until I started putting BBC, it was like right around my shoulder. And it was at a point like I was struggling to sleep. I was struggling to like sit and lie down. It was just like a constant like pulse of pain. And when I got that, it numbed all that away. And then, but the targeted pain became like 10 times worse because it was pinpointing there. So I was very aware of where it was. So that's why I started using that, and that's helped a lot.
That's good. Yeah, so like obviously it's not the first call of action when you have anything like that. Obviously, like see if you can mobilize it first and all that sort of shit. And then kind of look down that route. I mean, because obviously you're on GH, so that's already in play. So yeah, it's obviously just a different route to go if you do feel you have anything like that. So that is what it is. Jack, what you been up to the past week?
I was down in your neck of the woods. I was in Glasgow.
Oh, really? All right.
So I was down
thanks for coming past.
Well, I was actually going to ping you a message, but we weren't going to have a chance. So, and then
end the podcast now.
You know, I would be a bit of an unfair advantage in the gym given your.
That was Jack's podcast time. Very short lived. He's off.
That's it.
Just like
probably the only time I could outlift you. Yeah, probably the only time I could outlift you as well. But no, it's just time for a few days of work. So actually, I went for a brief kind of pump through session close to where I was staying, but I just mostly took the time off. So I'll just pick up training the rest of this week. So I've learned like when I'm away and I know I'm not going to be able to give 100%, just rest, because I like training in my home gym, and I find that when I go away, I don't get as good a session somewhere new. The time you spend faffing about getting used to the kit and stuff. So I'd rather just save it for when I'm home and get a good session, you know. So
you get to see a lot of people that have like a fucking mental breakdown when they have to travel and go away and stuff. But if you're like 100% on it around your trips and whatever, like it doesn't matter. Like you're still gonna have a good session compared to the average person. You know what I mean? But I do, but I don't like new gyms because like you're just like everything's just so like in your face. You don't know what to do in that. It's even for bodybuilders and that we've been fucking knows how long we've been training combined, but even all of us still like like going to a new gym like. You know
it's January as well, so it's like fucking the worst time possible to step into a new gym you're not familiar with. So it's like spare myself the hassle. So
no, you can definitely see like if we're not intimidated, but like we're intimidated by the fact that we need to adjust our sessions. But you can see why fucking walk into gyms and they're fucking like pure scared. You know what I mean?
I think now if I went to like a new gym, I wouldn't be looking like for machines of like obviously if you want to train back and there was like certain machines you're looking at like, oh god, I've never seen that, I've never used that. I don't think I would go towards them. I think I'd like pick machines I'm quite like I know or like are very similar to ones I use, so I know how to connect. Like I'm going to have like a similar session. I won't like compromise it. And like, you know yourself, if you go on a machine you like want to try, and it's like, I'm not really feeling this, and you keep doing it a couple of times a session, it leads into like a really bad mindset of the session. Like, this is becoming a bit of shit. Whereas you just kind of copy your session with similar machines, you'd be good.
I mind in Benoos in Dubai, like some of the stuff you look at, you're like, I have no fucking idea what that does. So you go up and you're trying to slyly read the instructions, like a corner of your eye like that. I like hitting it with one hand just to see what fucking happens, but I don't know. It's like in that gym anyway. Like I mind, I was like, when you first look at it, you're like, oh fucking hell! I know we've yabbered on about Benoos before, but you look at it, you're like, fucking hell, there's so much kit. There's not. When in reality, with stuff that is just dog shit, and the stuff that you just end up going back doing anyway, you know, I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna use all the hammer strength kit. So you always resort back to what you know. So that is what it is. But so I was back training on Monday. We got a chest session then, and it was. So like I got like I wanted to get reception and turn the CCTV off to the gym because like I had to do like 5 kilogram incline dumbbell, literally no weight on the pec deck. My physio just wanted me to like literally just move the handles. I wasn't allowed to contract my chest, and then by the end of the session, I managed to kind of slowly get like a tiny wee pump, but it was fuck all. But I actually got more of an upper body pump doing legs yesterday because obviously with legs I was able to use a lot more weight. So like I've got from like gripping, see, because I had my hand up like that across my chest, so I'm like gripping the machine with my left hand, and because I was gripping so hard with just the left, I've got like pec DOMs just from gripping. I was like, fucking hell, that's when you know you've not trained in a while, but it's a step in the right direction. And then today, my physio was like, you can start adding weight now, not astronomical amounts of weight, but it really is about kind of playing it by ear now. I can't just sit and, you know, just let myself waste away. But so it'll be interesting to see tomorrow because I'll try a kind of session tomorrow where I add a wee bit more weight, which is good because it was giving like a max of 12-week recovery before I'm back to 100%. So this is obviously moving a lot faster than predicted. So, which is good. So
good. Very good.
Yeah, or it's like going to. I've got an appointment with my surgeon on the 23rd. And he's going to be like, all right, okay, you can start training again. I'm like, fuck, I will be doing that for like 3 years. But,
how conservative do you think the timescales that they give you are?
Massive.
Extremely.
Yeah. So really, you've probably got a bit of kind of wiggle room in there.
Aye, definitely. So they're obviously trying to cover their end, which you can understand, you know.
It's like a worst case, the worst case scenario. If somebody's like shit at healing, their immune system's garbage, blah, 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 like that'll be the worst case scenario. General pop people probably like 2/3 of the time, maybe even quicker.
Yeah, they want to look like a bit of a hero as well when you are able to get back into the gym like 4 weeks later. So
I think even if you started like doing stuff right in terms of like aiding your recovery or stuff like that, I'll guarantee you could do it in half the time they've said.
Aye,
100%.
Because like most people, let's face it, when they get like most people have an unhealthy diet, they don't drink enough water, they don't train, they don't do any sort of exercise. So you are going to vastly limit your recovery capability if you do that sort of shit. So, but important one for me, like I was going to anyway, but it's like sticking actually to my diet. I've tried not to eat any kind of shit since the operation, so I didn't want any kind of inflammation in my body and that. But he went through it, and he was like, I was expecting that to be like still like rock solid. So he was like, that's an indicator to me that we're moving in the right direction, so that your body's not reacted in a way to protect the tendon. So yeah, I can start loading it now. So I'm excited to see what kind of growth spurt I get off the back when I go back on and trains back to 100%, because just say it's 6 weeks until I'm 100% again. Like I should get a really big fucking explosion of growth off the back of that. So yeah, I'll be excited to see.
That's good.
So we asked a few questions in this morning, and it's funny because like I get so many people that say to me in person they watch this and they listen to it, but hardly anyone actually asks questions when I put questions up. because I'm always like, no, so, oh, you should cover this, you should cover that. It's like, well, tell me when I put question things up then. And then I will. You know what I mean? That's I've actually had more since we last week, so.
If you do it anonymously, then you probably get a heap of dodgy shit.
I suppose, yeah.
Really bad ones.
Really bad ones, really gay ones. You know, you've got balls. You know, you got balls when you put in a gay question on like the open one.
Only gay if you're gay.
Only gay if you're gay. This is probably directed at me because I don't think either of you used it. But like, someone's asked, where does the Arsenal hack compare in the list of hack squats? Right. So that Arsenal hack to do with the fact that I'm like part owner of it, but that's the best hack I've ever used by far. It's like, for instance, my favorite is the Mark 1 hack the set Ultraflex. There was a video Cuba using it earlier, but I feel that was the best hack. I tried to get that one as well, but the supplier was like, that's like gold dust, trying to find one of them. And if you do find one, you're paying like 3 times the actual price of it. So that one's really smooth, but at the bottom, it's like certain machines through the strength curve that they have, like I feel it gets too heavy at the bottom. I think the new Cybex ones do that as well, don't they? Right at the bottom. Do they not?
No, it's fairly smooth throughout.
Right, okay. Well, the Mark 1, there's like a wee stick that I don't like at the bottom. So
it could just be his one though.
It could be. But also
could
with
be
the Mark 1,
you put in the RAM.
You can't adjust the foot plate, whereas an Arsenal one you can. So that made a big difference for me because I'm quite flexible through my ankles, so I'm able to put it right up, and then I feel I'm allowed to. That allows me to drive more through my heel, and that means that there's kind of less left through the toes when it starts to get really hard at the bottom. So, but it's someone said to me, "Oh, that one's like the pre-core hack." I think the pre-core hack is shite. It's far too easy. It's like those ones that you see it's pre-core at Ultraflex. You know the hacks are like that angle.
So you got the big foot pad. It's a mental angle.
Aye.
Is that not what do you call it? Atlantis.
Yeah. Atlantis.
Oh, yeah.
They're like they're fucking ridiculously easy. You can stack that with fucking templates aside, 19,000 reps. So, but yeah, in my opinion, I think the Arsenal that's definitely the best hack I've used. I did like the new Cybex one that's at Warehouse, but I think I still prefer the Arsenal one. So, where do you sit on in terms of hack squats? Where do you guys? What have you got at Forge?
To be honest, like hack's not something I've used until I started going down to Warehouse to use the Cybex, and I've used a couple of different hacks in gyms across Scotland and down south. But I like this. The Cybex hack in Warehouse is comfortable. I find it really surprised at how smooth it is. But yeah, I mean, we've got a pendulum, and I tend to use a V squat. I quite like coming forward on my knees. Just find it feels more direct in my quads. I get a better feel from it. But when I'm down in Warehouse, I'll take the opportunity to use the Cybex usually.
I'm the same. I think the Cybex hack is the OG. I've never used the one, but I've heard people speak about compared the one and the two. Some say it's exactly the same. Some say the two is slightly harder. I think it's just down to the size of the RAM. But that's what I particularly like about it, is because I've used hacks where it's very free flowing. Like there's not much resistance on, like, say when you put weight on it and the RAM was like, if you go down too quick, the RAM like starts to sticks on the actual pipe. So when you go down like a lot of weight on that thing, it's more comfortable than I feel on other hacks.
Right. Okay.
Doesn't make it any easier, but it just makes it feel more comfortable, more safe, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have said with the Arsenal hack as well, it's very comfortable and good to use. And as you said, I think it's quite not safe, but like good for your knees, because you can adjust the foot plate as well to suit you perfectly. But also it's a little bit more lean back. So again, you've got like a little bit more less resistance as well to kind of tangle with more weight.
Yeah. No, that's what I think about the previous one, the previous model. It's like, the newest model. It's like it's just a tiny bit harder. But you only notice that kind of stuff when you're so precise with kit. So, would you ever go back to the pure gym matrix hack?
No. It was so it just creaked every time you put like more than fucking 4 plates of side on it. It's horrific.
It's fucking scary.
Yeah.
Did
Yours scary as the
bodywork
hack
like
though.
Eh?
The bodywork hack's the scariest. That was.
Aye.
That's a scary fucker.
Aye.
That's like heavy as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no resistance in that thing. That just drops you down the ground.
Aye.
No stop.
Just fucking turns you into a fucking folded ladder, that one.
A slight tangent. Have you ever used a true squat?
No. One of my clients sent me a video of him using it. He put it in his plan. It looks dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a perfect. It's the same kind of trajectory as a sissy squat when you anchor your feet, like a goblet sissy squat. It looks so nice.
Yeah.
I can tell it fucking hurts.
Mm.
I'd love to try it.
You're literally just dropping down.
Mm. Remember there was a horizontal leg press and you had to go it was like elevated.
Massive, huge. It's like 3 stories tall. Right.
What the fuck was that again?
Oh yeah, I know what you're on about. Oh, I don't know. Stupid piece of kit. Fucking stupid.
Why is it so elevated?
I think it needed like so many bits of the fucking swinging arms, so they couldn't fit it into like a ground level.
Mm-hmm.
It was so stupid.
Having to change a bearing on that or something.
Aye.
What? It just takes up so much fucking room. What's the point?
I tried out the frame squat. You've seen that one? There's one at Benus. It's all right. It's like a safety bar squat, but obviously.
Oh, I know what you're on about. It's a pad on the neck. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're quite
it's
easy
all right,
to load up, though they're not.
It feels like it takes the load for you.
Yeah.
So.
I've seen people do it. It looks like just put a shit ton on it.
Aye. See that? You see the horizontal? They've got a flex unit. Cramped.
Yes.
See that, Jack? Have you used that? Have you been there recently?
Which one are you thinking of? The new hip press?
The hip press, yeah.
It's a Gymlico one.
A Gymlico.
Aye.
Fucking tiny, and it's like you struggle to get in it. But fuck me, it's really good. I find that a lot of Gymlico stuff hits really well for
very small. Even the Gymlico's tiny. The pendulum we've got, like I really struggle to get into that.
Mm-hmm.
If I go down, my arms hit the beam on the sides. I've got to like squat almost like this, and it just puts you off.
It's a really weird handle motion on it as well.
Yeah, it's not a flick; it's a pull. So it pulls and pivot off. So it's a bit different. You get used to it, but again, it's smooth enough. But there's no bump. There's no stopper.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can't set the stopper on the back if like you want to hit like a certain depth. You gotta go to fucking ass to grass to fucking get out of it.
Aye.
That's a bit dodgy in my eyes.
I quite like pendulums, but like the pendulum, like not feel like it kind of moves like that on its axis.
Aye, well, this thing swings like fuck if you've got a decent weight on it. And again, because it's quite narrow.
Aye, that puts me off. That really puts me off. It doesn't feel right. But no, one of my clients, James, he was using a leg press that didn't have stoppers. Like, what fucking leg press doesn't have stoppers? Aye, like fucking, he ruined his ankles and that, and his tendons and his fucking ankles. So, when he got like stuck under it, but who makes a fucking leg press with no stoppers?
There was a video going about of there was a girl and she was in like a V squat and she was resting. She was doing like a cluster set or something.
Back.
And it collapsed on her back and she had her hands on her knees resting between sets and the whole thing. And it pinned her down and it ripped her like spinal erectors to fucking shred. It looked so painful.
Oh, I can't watch shit like that. It's too. You're dealing with like just such mental weight on a daily basis. Like these videos like pop into your head before you do your set. You're like, oh fuck. So now try not.
Yeah,
to
but
watch
it's like they've not braced or like set themselves up correctly for a pause. And it's again, it is their own fault, but it is a freak accident. It can't happen.
Yeah.
One of my clients, she's popped her back out a few times, and but see, like when she gets into like she won't. I don't care if she watches this. If see when she gets into like machines, sometimes she'll do this as she's like loading her feet.
Setting yourself
Like,
up.
yeah, you're gonna fuck your back up doing that. Like, what you doing?
Annoys the shit out of me, by the way. See when
every
people,
time.
right, whatever, rant. See when people like don't set themselves up for like picking the weight and unlocking shit. Like when they're on the hack, they're on the pendulum, leg press. Like they'll pick it up, they'll set like obviously they'll let the fucking handles out and then they'll set their feet. I'm like, this thing's rocking. And they're like, if you just place that foot wrong and then take that one off, your knee could fucking bend backwards, bang.
Aye.
Or the machine's rocking a bit. Like, why don't you just set yourself up, push it up, unlock it, go?
Yeah. Imagine rolling over your ankle with weight.
I know. Or it's when people see when people getting chest presses and they've loaded it, they're like that, and then they go.
Oh man!
I've got one, and I seen it on Monday. People who are training, say doing a deadlift, facing away from the mirror, and they turn their head during the rep to look at themselves in the mirror, and you're just like, fuck, like that's yeah.
I see people do it all the time. I watched somebody do it the other day with squats, and they're at the belly gut, and the whole bar started to move, and they're still going down and up like that at an angle. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You didn't change your feet.
Yeah.
It's just like you're sitting with the bar squint.
I mean, fair play if your coordination's that good.
Do you know see the Cybex is in warehouse, and you've got that pillar next to
In front of it.
Aye, mine there used to be that fucking cheap shit squat rack there years ago.
Yeah, just further along, yeah.
Aye, so it had like hooks like that. It was tiny. So if you missed it, you were fucked.
I've
but
missed
this
it a few
guy was
times.
this guy was squatting away from it. He was squatting away from the pins with no mirror. And like he tried to walk it back and just like missed it, and then eventually just dumped it. I was like, that's why you don't fucking do that. Why are people like so stupid? It was funny to watch. None of us helped.
Aye.
It was fucking hell, something people do. But like,
I missed it once with the safety bar.
But did you?
I was fucking terrifying, by the way.
Aye, that's fucking scary.
I was like coming up, and I was like trying to like grind it up, and I moved my head forward to fucking pick my back up, and like I was like, oh my god, I'm going in. Like started to go forward, and I got up, but I was still traveling forward. There was no way to correct it, so I just tried to go oof and like flick it, and all you had was bang. It hit the fucking things, so I dumped my arms and actually just went out of it like a fucking penguin going for a dive, the fucking headrest into the wall, and the bar just like fell backwards. I was like, thank fuck for that.
Aye, dangerous game, like the dangerous game. What a tangent now, wasn't it? This one's come up in a few podcasts, so we'll get your opinion on it. I think we've got the same opinion about it. What do you think about, see how there was like far too many people at the most recent Olympia in every class? And they were talking about limiting pro shows, not inviting and only inviting back number one. Like, where do you both stand on the amount of pro shows they have in a season and like the numbers that stand on stage at the Olympia?
I think the top three should come back. And then I think pro shows, it's a tough one because obviously you do as these guys, it is like that's your career, so this is their way to like go to like say the Super Bowl of bodybuilding, but also to make money. If they're wanting to place well on the shows, they accumulate money over multiple shows. So the more shows is more beneficial to the athlete, but then it is going to be a lot more on stage, which is just pointless. I mean, go list me the people that went from 16 to 30. You don't fucking know. Like, you really don't know. You really don't care. It's like that kind of. I could name you 16 to 1 because that's enough. That's the ones you want to know. So it's a tough one, but you can't exactly say we're going to do 16 shows where you can win your ticket to Olympia and say 16 shows will just hand out money, because who's going to, well, folk would do the money ones, I guess. But you still want to get your ticket to Olympia. I mean, it just means that they would be competing more than one show. I mean, you could go compete in this show just going for the money aspect of it, where maybe a couple of guys have already qualified, so they won't do that show. Because that's what a lot of people were doing this year. They were competing, won their card, they're maybe going to do another show, and they maybe won that show again. So that card's like, well, that ticket to Olympia is pointless or worthless, where they could just win the money, is what they're really wanting anyway. So that's what I would do.
Aye.
And I guess the more accessible you make the Olympia, the less, I mean, it's always the Olympia, but the kind of less prestigious it comes.
Yeah.
I think it would get a lot more big names into the shows, because obviously it'd be less shows, so more the names would go into that show, and it'd be much more of a battle to watch than just say like maybe 2 fucking guys as usual battling it out, where you maybe get like 5.
Yeah. See, I'd be more inclined to go to a pro show if I knew, like, just say only number 1 comes back. Just say if I knew that Derek Lunsford was doing it, I would go to the show just to watch him.
Yeah.
So like, for me, like I think only Mr. Olympia should come back. He should be the only one that comes back. But then it should be like, there shouldn't be just enough shows for just enough places. Obviously, that doesn't make sense. So, like, if you had just say 15 spots at the Olympia and there was like 20, 22 shows, then that allows guys to do more than one, because you still want names to be in shows.
Yeah.
You don't want the tail, you don't like the start or the middle of the season to be like shallow in numbers and names, because then that doesn't drive tickets either. So, but like when you look at like classic physique and men's physique, like that was fucking ludicrous. I don't understand why it was like that, but there's like classic only pro shows and there's men's physique only pro shows. So obviously there's going to be, the number's going to be way higher, and like obviously when you try it down to like bikini as well, bikini's just a fucking clown car of just like constant, it's like fuck. So well, you get that amateur shows, let alone the Olympia, they do need to make it the prestigious show. But I guess like at the same time, all the physiques, if you're at the Olympia, you're good. You know what I mean? Like you're world class. Yeah. So it's not like the guys who are placing above 16 aren't something to watch.
No.
You know what I mean? So it's not like 16 plus in an amateur show. So that I don't know. I don't know where that's at. I think only the Mr. Olympia should come back, but at the same time, I still think there should be a lot of opportunity, because that allows growth in the sport as well. Like, fair enough, guys are, like you said, Jack. Fair enough. It'll always be the Olympia, but fuck, I lost my train of thought. But no, I've definitely lost it. It's gone.
What's your view on the point system then? Do you scrub that?
Scrap that shit. Yeah.
I think if we're going to do it, invite one. So say like you had somebody that plays second, they're like, fuck, so close. I'll go do another show that's Olympia qualifier, second again, or like say they maybe got third. Then again, they do maybe like a third to try it again, maybe second or third. They're like, fuck it, I'm done. But then like say by the end, like say, oh, okay, this guy's got maybe three seconds. No one else has that. Okay, he's coming. So maybe like one awarded ticket for that. Whoever has like the highest rank.
I don't know.
I don't think they should let so many people in, obviously.
Yeah, if we're talking about limited numbers, then surely like the point system is what you get rid of.
Yeah.
Off the bat. But it's a tough one. I mean, like, fuck it. If I won like a all right level pro show, I would go to Olympia, even if I knew I was going to come 30th. I don't give a fuck. I'm going.
A fucking taxi is going on my wall.
If I wear the jacket everywhere. It's like, if the guys are willing to do it, then maybe we should accommodate. We don't want. Again, you go back to like, see, like back in the day when it was just a Mr. Olympia. Like they had them on stage for fucking ages. It was a real fucking spectacle for one class. It was definitely rushed. Maybe not the open, but there was some comparisons that were missing. But like, I watched classics. I still really like classic, and that was proper rushed.
I love watching classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you just do classic if you had your time again?
So close.
Would you just do classic if you had your time again, like from the start?
Was my intention anyway.
Oh,
I suppose.
Don't know, depends how you look. If you were going to be competitive in it, or you were growing like a weed, then fucking no, you'd be bodybuilding.
I still remember that conversation with Ryan Alexander about you. I was like, I said something like, he thinks he's going to be classic, and Ryan's like, no, no chance. I did tell him.
You can't deny I did have like a classical look.
Yeah, you did, but you would have been.
But like, honestly, see, when I went and had a look at what like your weight caps are for like if you wanted to compete in like the NPC or the two bros, whatever, like I was shocked. I couldn't believe it had to be that light, and I was like, fucking hell. Like I thought I was maybe light enough for it, but no, I was miles off. It just shows you like what these guys are sizing up as.
Because you won open bodybuilding at the Scottish and the overall. The guy who won classic was Jamie Maxwell. Now take you and Jamie Maxwell next to each other. How stupid that looked! Like, you know what I mean? So
So I'm just looking at like me standing alone, like structure, shape. I was quite classical, but then next to that, I was like, "Fuck, okay, I'm carrying a lot more density and thickness and size."
That's what I think. The 5'11", for me, the 5'11" mark is 215, I think.
Well, I know mine was like 92 kilo.
Right. So I remember, so when I came off with the Arnold, like there was a photographer filming the Arnold Amateur, and I bumped into him at the expo and stuff. He was like, "Have you ever thought about doing classic?" I'm like, "Mate, I'd have to lose like
no idea
at the time, 35 pounds just to make weight, just." So I was like, "Nah, no chance." He's like, "Oh, right, really? I didn't know that." I was like, "Yeah." So no, fuck that. But I think if I started competing in 2022, 2023, I think I probably would go down the classic route first. But I hit my weight cap as a junior, so fuck it, no chance.
Yeah.
Jack, what do you stand on? I don't think you actually said outright what you think about the shows.
The point system.
Like, what do you think? Like, should it be like Mr. Olympia, and should it be limited or what?
Mr. Olympia coming back alone, and I think I quite like the smaller numbers and the best competitors are there. But then off the back of what you said about making it more accessible makes sense as well. But don't like the idea of the point system.
No, I don't. I've never liked that.
No,
I'd want to go on a win as well. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is not a question, but this is a debate I have with Reagan. Right? If you came second in a show that offered pro card to second, would you take your pro card or would you wait to win it?
Win it.
Aye.
I don't know. Depends on like the situation.
Yeah.
Right. In my opinion, even if the show ridiculously stacked, the winner was fucking phenomenal. I still don't think I would take it. I don't. It doesn't feel right to me.
So what about
maybe circumstantial?
What about the Amateur Olympia setup?
What do you mean?
Well, there's 3 pro cards in the overall there.
That's what I'm saying, though. I don't think I would take it. I wouldn't accept it.
You have to.
You don't have. No, you don't.
Well, you don't have to.
It.
But I mean, if you're on stage in the overall.
Again?
Right. Obviously that's how it works there. So if you go win your class, you go to overall, and there's 5 classes in bodybuilding, and they have to hand out 3 pro cards in that overall. Would you say no?
I think so. I'd rather win the overall.
Well, you kind of did, but you know what I mean.
I know you won your
that's
class,
not how it works.
Yeah, I know, I get that, but I don't know. It's in that setup, I get it, but at the same time, you're not. No,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Because like Reagan was like, "I'd take it if I was third." I was like, "Nah, no chance."
I guess it depends, like at what point in your career you were as well.
Because I actually seen when I was at the Amateur Olympia in Denmark, I would have never gave the guy that got the first place in the overall first. So it was like that's maybe the judge's call, but like what I would have classed as a better bodybuilder or a better person who would stand in the pro league would have been second, hands down. And that's like where I would probably much there's like if I was there and I genuinely thought I was better than the guy that came first, and I got second, I would have took it because I was like, this is just fucking the judge's call day. But I'll guarantee if I went away and came back to another show, I'd wipe the floor with him.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I would just feel underwhelmed going into like a pro show. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Don't feel like I've earned it. But I don't know. Each their own. I guess it's all about just putting IFBB Pro in your bio anyway. The worst trends and best trends in bodybuilding.
All the trends.
All the trend.
Trends.
All the
Trends with a D.
trend.
With a D.
Trend. The worst trends. Fuck.
Cans of Monster intra workout.
Yeah, I do like that. That's a good one.
Done that once.
Why is it that like
Why?
all the guys who have just started in the gym that have like went for like a week have to wear vests?
Yeah.
You
I think
feel you have to earn the right to. I know where he's going with this though, but like, so I say I get Greg, you cut out.
I'm gonna agree with him.
Yeah, just saying like they've got like a little bit of a pump, and they're like, "Fuck, I feel massive. Like, fuck, I need to wear a vest."
Yeah. No, like we only wear vests like what 2 weeks out or something.
So I'm maybe an exception to that. So I got a clothing sponsor, right? And he sent me some vests, and I was like, "This is winter in Scotland, mate. Like, do you like?" So I'm like halfway through my session, whipping on this vest to get a couple of pictures, and then like, but yeah, normally no.
I love everyone's watching how Greg's screen is like.
Yeah,
it's annoying.
Oh, can you still hear that?
That's his face when he sees someone in a vest.
It's so annoying.
Oh,
fucking signal's so bad. Yeah, I was just wondering why like all the newbies in the gym have to wear vests after they've got like a little bit of a pump and they feel massive.
On the posing.
I admire the confidence, to be fair, but it wouldn't be me.
I actually had this conversation with somebody today. Like, I don't know what's happened with like the new people in the gym. Like, I only just noticed it now. I've never noticed it for years. But like, where are they getting this confidence?
You know what I mean?
Like, honestly, there's people that have came to the gym this week and they've literally just fucking started, I swear to God. And I seen them today in the changing rooms with their pants on, doing poses in the mirror, like proper like side chest, fucking front double, all this shit. And I'm like looking, I'm like, have you like ever trained in your life, or are you just trained now? It's like looking at like you've literally just started. What are you trying to see? Like just get in the gym and actually do the work. Like fair enough, you want to do posing, but there's surely not anything you're seeing because you've just started training this week.
I remember I was posing in the studio in Future, and like these two guys came in, didn't ask me. Number one, they didn't ask me if they could just fucking start posing next to me, but they did. Just like stripped off, down to their pants, and I was like, "The fuck are you doing?" Literally, like, nothing. There was absolutely nothing there. Again, I admire the confidence, but I was like, you can clearly see I'm standing here, like, actually posing with a physique.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell. I wouldn't have the balls to do that.
But this guy was on his own, and there was people like there may have been about 3 or 4 people in there getting changed. This boy's not giving a fuck. He's just doing side chest, front doubles, fucking back lat spread with no muscle, like not caring a fuck. And I'm like, hats off to you, mate. That's some confidence you've got there, because I would not be doing that, even how I look right now.
just think how he's going to be when he's actually got a physique. It's going to be fucking.
That's dangerous.
I know. Trends.
Shadow boxing.
Oh,
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that in a while, to be fair.
No, since we got rid of the punching bag, there's nobody done that, or they would get a trap in their face themselves. I don't know any good trends. I'm trying to think of a good trend.
Blood work.
Yeah. It's just a thing you should do, really.
I know, but like it's kind of picked up momentum off the back of like top guys doing it. Now everyone's like doing it. Is that not how a trend works?
Maybe.
Greg, you're probably part of one of the biggest trends. Crocs.
I don't wear Crocs anymore. I
That's
wear
definitely
slides.
that is
Oh,
definitely-
But I've actually
Yeah,
stopped. I wear socks and trainers to the gym now. I don't wear slides.
Oh,
Do you
That
not
was when I
think
was at like my absolute heaviest and couldn't like bend over like 10,
Right.
10 degrees.
I think the whole Crocs thing is just like the people who wear Crocs know that Crocs are ugly as fuck, but they like wearing them off the attention of people who think they're ugly as fuck. They like
I don't know,
people.
like,
I
I think
think
it just gets laziness because they're so comfy.
Yeah.
How can you wear essentially sandals in Aberdeen though?
Well,
In the middle of winter.
I think
Oh, I'll
you
wear
get.
slides in the snow. I don't care.
Oh fuck.
Aye, but you're 300 pound and you overheat just fucking looking at a light, let alone actually being in it. So
It's when people get them in like rainbow colours and really bright colours. That's like screaming. Look at my Crocs.
yeah, look at my Crocs. I'm a paedophile. Look at my Crocs. Aye, and they get like all the wee gems on them as well.
Aye, we barbell one. We
Aye.
dumbbell one.
Oh, couldn't
When the worst thing is when I've seen people train legs in them. I'm like, no, there's a line. You've just crossed it.
you just
Like, that's
crossed
just
it.
the most unsafe thing ever. Even in 4-wheel drive mode, you cannot train legs in them. No way.
Never will. Never will. Birds have fucking trends, way more trends than men do.
Oh, the fucking would they tuck their t-shirt into their bra at the back so they can show their bum?
Aye, I saw a
Stop
meme
it.
the other day. It was like
I know there's guys that do this, by the way.
I've seen them as well, but it's like
They tuck it into their belt.
aye,
Idiots.
they're it's a girl walking from the front. She's like, it's like captioned like wearing a baggy tee and trackies to not wearing a baggy tee and leggings so that no one looks at you, and then they turns around and it's all tied up the back, obviously show their arse off. Like, I always rip the piss like with Reagan. She joins in as well, right? But do you know like Black Ice Bikini? You know how all the girls like go down to Manchester and get their bikinis fitted, and they stand in front of those fucking black wings, all that shit. Oh mate, that fucking gets me all the time. It's like when it comes to bikini, girls they will not step out of what is like accepted. Like you have to go to Black Ice and stand in front of the fucking thing, mate. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to pose with this person. You have to get like a certain suit off certain people. Like girls will not fucking step out of that line. You know what I mean? And which you kind of understand, but some things birds do are fucking hilarious.
But it's like when you meet like a bodybuilder, you have to do the pose while taking a photo.
That one.
I mean, so he's like this one, and then he's like that. You can't not do it. Like you could just stand there and both just stand there like that, could you? Or like you could just like put his arm on like, all right, mate, like nothing like that. Has to be
like a night out
on. And then everybody's like trying to edge in front so you get the bigger arm, like trying to out angle. Just like you can't stop doing it. It's like when you get in a taxi and you're like, been busy tonight, mate.
Aye, you have to.
The same thing, you have to say it. It's like you're in pain not saying it.
We'll try to think of one more before we move on to another question.
What I do love is people using machines that are not meant for what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's a big pain in the ass.
Leg press on the chest press.
Oh, they seen that one.
Greg's doing it in his Crocs tomorrow.
There was somebody, I don't know who the fuck started the trend, but somebody was doing, like when you have, I don't know how to fucking explain it. I think they're on like the leg extension, but facing in towards the seat, and they have their foot underneath the pad, and they're pulling the pad up, so they're hitting like the insertion of
it's the hip flexion.
Aye.
I saw a thing on Instagram. It was like the most underused exercise. I was like, aye, it's for a fucking reason. No one uses that. Unless you're like rehabbing your hip, you don't need to do that shit.
No, I've never seen the point.
No. Right. What are what are all our goals for the year? I think we kind of outlined that in the last one. But like non bodybuilding related, just make it interesting.
Non bodybuilding.
Yeah. Do they have more kids for you, Greg?
No. I think there's dust in there now, like all the fucking Trent ruined that. Yeah, I think fucking just obviously try and grow coaching a little bit more. I do have a goal of trying to start something else as like a small business for myself, so like another revenue of income. But I'm so back and forth from ideas on it, like what to do, and then just a little bit indecisive if it's going to work or not, and so on. So just some thinking of doing that, but definitely I want to take steps in the right direction for doing that.
Aye.
And then I don't want to put so much focus on that because this is like quite a big year for what I'm wanting to do in terms of bodybuilding. So yeah, just like those two goals, and then do the bodybuilding ones, and then hopefully they can try to transpire in the year after that to come in something bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen you being a wee more active with like showing off your plans and stuff on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure you've seen like the reels that I've been putting up. Like just for the record, I fucking hate doing them. Right? And you think? I think
That's
some
why
of
I
them
don't do them. I just can't bring
like,
myself around to doing it.
I just hate being salesy. I really don't like being a salesman.
It's not nice hearing your own voice as well, I think.
That doesn't bother me now, to be honest. When you've like listened to like your YouTube videos and this like enough, you just get used to how your voice sounds.
So I'm not the biggest fan of doing that, but it's like it's part and parcel my way. You have to do something like that if you want.
Yeah.
That's why I said to you two, I was like, that's why we need to get this back up and running, because like people like hearing us talk about stuff, and we're not just big fucking retards, you know what I mean? So a wee bit, I'll give you that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Jack, what you got any non-bodybuilding goals for the
I guess I've always kind of said to kind of coaching PT eventually step away from what I'm doing right now work-wise, but I quite enjoy what I do, so it's not a kind of a pressing issue. But I guess I've been saying it for a while, but environment's a big one for me, and I think where I'm kind of wanting to go, I need to be in the right environment where I can kind of take things to the kind of next level. So I'd quite like to be in a position where I could train a warehouse for like half the month. It's kind of closest to Inverness that I've got. So I was kind of looking at maybe getting a place in Aberdeen, so a one-bed flat. Having a little kind of base through there.
What you do is Airbnb the rest of the month?
Yeah, just got to come back here or just come back at weekends or something. So
yeah.
I looked at just on a massive side note, you brought that up. I was looking at actually like flat prices in Aberdeen, like
incredible.
Fucking, I know there's nothing, and there was like so I always set it to like newest listed, and it was like you scroll down just like a page, and it's like listed in June. You're like, what the fuck? They're not selling either.
That's kind of why I was thinking, because when I'd probably go down kind of 7-8 times a month, and what I'm spending in hotels could be paying a fucking mortgage on a flat. So
aye,
it makes sense.
I saw like a 2-bed flat in like a granite villa in Rubislaw, and I was like, it was just over 200. See, back in the oil boom, like during oil, like that'd have been like 300 plus easy, the high 300s.
Nuts.
I was fucking mad. Like, obviously, we all know why that's happened. Because, like, see, I was up in Aberdeen for a night out on between Christmas and New Year. Greg actually patched me, and yeah. So on, I was like,
10:30, I got a text message. Hey, Greg, you coming out? No.
I did say that I was fucking coming up though. You knew I was going to be out.
On the train, mate. I'm falling asleep. I can't stay awake.
So you should have been ready, mate. You should have been ready right there. Fucking glasses and everything, mate. Ready to go. Brave glasses. Anyway, I didn't realise, like...
all the pre-workout sniffing salts. Let's go.
Shite when I was growing up. But fucking hell, it's bad now. Like, unless you're just past, like, anything past, like, fucking what's the name of the bar? Fucking that has a casino above it.
So
So everything past Soul's alright, but everything before that, it's a disaster. It's such a shame, but
just died.
Yeah,
it's just
I
died.
know. But like I remember back in the day, someone said like the business rates in Aberdeen were just like atrocious. I think it was mind that Austin used to own Results.
Yeah,
he was just like the business rates don't reflect like the actual economy.
Inverness is the same.
Aye, so it makes no sense. Like
then if you're looking at like say wanting to open a business here, the rates haven't changed for like the actual like buildings you're buying. They're still the same as used to be, and nobody's buying them. The amount of like empty units is incredible.
I know. That's what I was saying.
Here in Aberdeen are empty.
Yeah.
Then you go to Dundee or Glasgow, you're looking at like 1/5 of that price.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's crazy.
Units, I think I've shown you units when I've been looking at units in Glasgow, and what you can get down here is like unreal.
Oh,
that's why so many people have private gyms down here.
Yeah.
It's a shame, like, but I mean, like, I've got no desire to move back to Aberdeen, but it's a shame to see like the place you grew up like just becoming such a shithole, and it's all down to the people that are in charge. So, because like,
COVID made a big impact.
I know that, but like, see, even before that, like, you had like fucking billionaires offering to do up the city, and they were saying no. So, bit of a tangent there, but I thought I'd bring it up when Jack mentioned the flats there. So speaking of flats, actually, my non-bodybuilding goal for the year is to buy another house. So I've got one. Me and Reagan, I've got one just now. So hopefully buy another this year and keep the property investment game going. It's really interesting, but it's like it's hands-free. Though we've got like a company handling everything for us. All I need to do is just sign stuff and pay for stuff when it comes through. But so it's not exactly like thrilling in that sense, like handling a project by myself, but it's still pretty cool. So hopefully this year.
Would you ever want to do flipping?
Yeah, I can flip through this company that I'm with if I wanted to.
But I mean, would you want to do it like so, as in like buy, strip it, like put everything in it, put it on the market?
Yeah, I can do that with the company that I'm with.
Okay.
If I wanted, so we've got work on this one that needs done. It's not been flipped. It's been going into, there'll be a buy to let, but you can get some like proper shiters and do them up if you wanted to, but we decided we'll go down the buy to let route rather than that. I think see the people that flip, they know like the ins and outs of like trade, like they're tradesmen themselves, or they have really, really good contacts. I mean, I can't put up a shelf, and I don't know anyone in trades, so I'd be next to useless like doing that kind of thing. But maybe one day if I could build up contacts and stuff, but not just now.
Next one.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's that one. I'll do just a cliche one. What would you say is the ideal exercise for back width? Attend the fucking warehouse seminar on Saturday and you'll find out.
I genuinely think like there's no such exercise to develop width. I think it just like comes as you grow your back. It's like people always say you should do like the pull down wide handle. You're only going to lose power because you're not in the actual position to pull down in the muscle range of where it's going to contract the most power and actually the best movement pattern. I think it's stupid that's like became like a type of myth or what you want to class it as. Your genetics will like put in your width. If you've got like a small waist, then obviously your back's will look wider. But in terms of like how you put on muscle, how it goes on to your body, pretty much is going to determine how wide you are. I don't think there's an actual exercise to determine width.
No. It comes down to like I think with back you just need as much variation angle wise, as possible. So like, you work like a mid handle range, mid hand range with like a pull down, and you move to like a close grip, maybe like a T-bar row, or like if you do like a chest supported row, go wider, so on and so forth. So, and then obviously like hinge movements as well. Back, I feel, needs just like a ton of variation angle wise, and that's when you're going to obviously develop your back. Like Greg said, your width is determined by your shoulder width, your clavicle width, and then where your lats actually insert. Do they insert, like deep into the armpit, or do they insert a little bit wider along the clavicle, or do they? And then does your waist, where does your lats insert? Have you got a high inserting lats? Have you got low inserting lats? Do they insert like right at the base of your back, or do they insert a little bit higher up the oblique? The width is dependent on who your mum and dad is, unfortunately.
Yeah. So. I get with back, the little things I've noticed big differences from is like grip variations. So like instead of using just a plain horizontal smooth bar, the prime grips and mag grips, these sort of things, having a better grip, that's giving me a slightly better connection when training back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely another one as well. Like we're just talking about training back, as it is. Like obviously, a lot of people kind of get, because your back's a powerful muscle, and that you can move like a fuck ton of weight. We can get really fucking strong, but like some of the best improvements I've seen with guys' development is like actually being able to focus on actually contracting the back. I still advocate for basic movement, T-bar, dumbbell row, barbell row, and obviously you can branch off of that. But like learning how to barbell row immaculately and still feeling your back work as well, combining all those aspects, I think is going to be the biggest difference. So, Greg, do you want to punt the seminar on Saturday?
I'm sure most people have seen it, but yeah, obviously there's a seminar being hosted at Warehouse this Saturday. I think it starts at 12. Obviously it's been sponsored and thrown together by Full Bore. So it'll be myself, Johnny Mack, Dan Bastic, and China Green for the women. I think her lad Ali is doing a lot of stuff as well for it, and obviously there'll be Rob, the owner, down as well. So it should be actually a really good day. But in terms of like people growing your back, you've got like possibly 3 of the best bodybuilder deadlifters in the country showing you how to grow your back. And if you ever seen China train, she's an absolute animal. So I think for the women's side of things, you could teach a lot of women a thing or two in terms of like execution, intensity, and a lot of technique. She's very particular in her technique and execution. So I think women would benefit a lot from that. So if you want tickets, they're on the Full Bore website. Very easy to see. You'll see it flashing up. Buy tickets for that, and you can come along on Saturday.
Yeah, because we're obviously talking about how, like, people complain that the Scottish bodybuilding industry is like nothing compared to England, but the opportunity is there. We're not like, yeah, you have to pay for it, but it's like it's still vastly undervalued for the amount of experience that's going to be totally there. You know what I mean?
I think people really want to see like IFBB pros coming to show them stuff and expect to pay very little. It's like these guys will charge an absolute fortune to show you stuff. Now, if that's what you're waiting for, you're waiting on the wrong people.
Aye.
When you got like amateurs that want to get a lot of exposure, and like quite good amateurs, in my opinion, coming to show you how to train properly and execute and what's the best exercise, do this if you're struggling. I mean, it's not just like back. You can kind of transfer that across to like your whole training program, what we're going to show you. And there'll obviously be a Q&A, so questions on anything, if it's to do with drugs, other exercises, or other days you're training, like if you want to do push-pull, whatever, blah, blah, questions will be answered obviously at the end. So it's not just obviously back. If you want to come and learn a thing or two about absolutely anything, then obviously we'll speak about it and discuss.
Yeah.
But as you said, it just seems that like when the opportunity arises for Scottish people, because they moan all the time, like, oh, we don't get the same opportunities in England, this never happens up here, why have they got this and we don't? And when the opportunity arises, nobody comes. It's like I said in my story the other day, I hosted, well, I didn't host, but I organised the Blood Lab to come up to Aberdeen like 9 months ago. A lot of people say, oh, we don't have like that facility here, like we don't have people that can take your blood, we've got to like find a nurse and pay them, have to get our kit sent to us, blah blah blah. I got the kits here, I got somebody to draw the blood, get the test results done, not one person showed up. That's like I was just blown away. Like I advertised it well, they advertised it, not one person showed up to do the blood work.
Yeah, it's a shame. Like it is a shame, and like it's not as if like we've got less people in the gym or less people taking gear.
Mhm.
We have the same. I'm sure the proportions are pretty similar to England, but
Yeah.
it's yeah.
I would
it's
definitely
very-
say we've picked up a lot of new talent or new people over the last like 2 years. I would say Scotland's really starting to pick up a lot of talent now compared to what it used to be. It just used to be
Yeah.
a very few handful, if anything.
Aye.
So it is good to see, but like I said, it's like the opportunities that are being brought to them, they're just not seizing the day for it.
Yeah.
I think with seminars, regardless of how competent you are with training, even if you can go to these things and take away one thing, it could have like a huge impact on your bodybuilding journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so yeah, totally
Like-
agree.
And that's the beauty of it. Every single guy who takes this even semi-seriously has got an opinion about how they do certain things.
Yeah.
And like, if you think that you can't learn anything or you've mastered it, you're very much mistaken. It's funny when like I get inquiries for coaching, and I'm like, I just want you to handle nutrition, mate. I'm fine with the training. I was like, no, you're not. Like, no, you're not. Because if you were fine with the training, you'd be telling me what to do training wise.
Yeah.
So, it's funny, but
I think the egos are a lot bigger up here than anywhere.
Mhm.
Aye.
Definitely.
I think guys don't want to admit that they don't know something or that someone's like better than them. I mean, we see it all the time. Like, I think we're kind of going off a tangent here, but fuck it. Like, I think even the British mentality towards like fitness and bodybuilding is still very, very skewed. We're still seeing like top guys and girls who are in incredible shape, done incredible things on the competitive scene, done incredible things with their physique, aren't as busy as the 150-pound PT who's never applied a fucking thing that he's done, but he knows his way around Instagram.
Yeah.
And like he can talk. It really is weird. It's a strange industry. I've always said that. We talk about it all the time, Greg. We're like, how the fuck are some people that busy? And I'm not doubting that they get results. I get that, and maybe at the end of the day, that is the most important thing. But I don't know. I would never ever go to someone who has not done more than me.
No.
Or less than me. Sorry, less than me. But
not even that. It's like it's looking at what they've done in terms of like who to put on stage, maybe like what courses they've done, and it's like if you pick somebody that's done none of that because they're cheaper, and you just like you have to roll your eyes. Like, really, you're wanting to go somebody like has no interest in your health, doesn't even know how to handle it, has never done this, never done that, so you can save like maybe 40-50 pound. Come on,
I know.
You get what you pay for.
It really blows my mind.
Yeah, I know. It's a shame, like, but I think we're slowly seeing the kind of evolution, and it is slow, but it will get there eventually. But I'll say it takes like podcasts like this and us being on stage to kind of get that out, and because like
we spoke about this a while ago. Do you think like the mindset of people here is totally different to anywhere else?
Scotland or the UK?
You can go between the two if you want. Like, because I said the other day, like people just don't want to see you do well personally.
Oh yeah,
I think that's a big, and that is honestly like I said the other day, right? That is such a big thing. Like, people do not want to see you do well, even if you are like the nicest guy. If they see you do better than them, or they see you take like leaps and bounds of being like a better person, a better coach, a better athlete, whatever it may be, you almost get like fucking blacklisted in terms of like in people's like conversation. Like, they almost like want to put you down for doing well because you've done better than them, and it's like a jealousy thing. I don't know, but it's such a horrible cycle because you almost start to feed into it because like you see it happen so much to maybe you, and you're like, oh well, fuck you, I don't want to see you do well, blah blah. And it's like a vicious cycle, and that really does my head in.
Unfortunately, I think there's still like a kind of like know your place type attitude that a lot of people carry. I mean, for instance, like you see it with like if someone who just say considers himself like working class and then kind of builds himself up, that's like almost taboo. That's not celebrated. It's like it's looked down upon. Like, how dare you think you're better than us type thing. And obviously the same happens with physiques, like big guys or shredded guys or whatever. Like the 9 times out of 10, even probably more than that, the attitude from like the general public would be like, oh, I bet he's stuck up. I bet he's a cunt. Same a guy who drives a Ferrari. You know, if you drive a Ferrari through Glasgow, it's like, I bet he's like either a drug dealer or he's a cunt. One of the two, or both. It's an odd mentality we have compared to like the American outlook and things. There's a reason Scotland has fuck all billionaires and fuck all multimillionaires, because of the attitude towards trying to do better. And then America is the world leader in billionaires by a fucking huge margin. Granted, bigger population, but still, like we've said before, you've got every opportunity in this country as an American does. If anything, I believe, slightly better set up in terms of like social things you can fall back on. Like the government's got things in place that you'll never actually really suffer in this country if if worst comes to worst. But all the opportunities are there. The opportunities are there to be as fit as humanly possible. The opportunities there to be as good a bodybuilder, whatever they want to do, be the best fucking computer programmer, whatever the fuck. The amount of opportunities here, and I just feel like so many people just whittle away because they're just so scared of what people are going to say if they dare try to push themselves a wee bit. But, I don't know.
Do you know what I've noticed? But it's like, you see, if like say you won, like you were at a show, you either won the show, or you done incredibly well. Like how quick does like your DMs fill up with people saying, "Oh, well done, you've done amazing," this, that, and the next thing. But as soon as like say you come home, go in the gym, the people who have like never done something like that are like, and like they've 100% like seen like you've posted or they've seen your story because they've liked it. They wouldn't even look at you. But there'll be people like maybe like-minded like yourself. They'll be the first ones to take off the headphones, come across, go, "Well done," blah blah, because they've been there and done that. They know what it took, the sacrifice it took, and so on. Like it seems like I said, it's almost like a jealousy thing. The people that are like not done that, or they haven't made that step yet, they haven't got the balls to push their way, like to go and do that. They don't have the patience or whatever. They'll be the ones that will like say bad things about it. That's what I've noticed. And again, it's just such a bad fucking mindset and mentality. It's a vicious cycle that almost like their negative energy just spreads.
Everyone's an expert as well. I don't know if you guys get it with like coaching clients, but they might message you and say, "Oh, I was speaking to someone in the gym and they've told me this isn't like the optimal thing I should be doing." And it's like, who the fuck are you speaking to? It's like, who's giving us bullshit information?
Aye.
It's like,
I'll go to that. Like, send me a photo of them.
Yeah,
exactly.
I've heard some belters like.
Yeah, 99% of the time it's like someone that's achieved absolutely nothing. It's like,
yeah, and see, I hear seen here a lot of time. I had one of my clients messaging me like, "Oh, this guy's saying that like I'm on, like there's no point in being what I'm on." So TRT those fucking 200, 250, whatever it was, and he was like, "No, like the thing now is to run a gram when you come off." I went, "Mate, you're actually fucking giving this guy time of day." And he was like, I know, but like, what does he mean by this? What does he mean by that? I was like, "Mate, like, I'll explain it. I'll explain my side, my reasoning, but I'm not even going to bother trying to retort what he said because it's fucking ridiculous."
Just like what I just like Dave saying, and just slap that person because you're like, "Are you blind? Like, are you genuinely blind? Look at the person that's told you this.
Yeah.
Look at me, what I've achieved, my accolades, my just even how I look. I'll guarantee they look nothing like me. I guarantee they achieve nothing like me. And you're actually coming on here like you've actually their reasoning or questioning have actually stuck in your head, and you're like, I wonder if that's true. Like, fuck off, honestly. Jesus Christ, take some common sense."
I know, but it's a straight, like we said, it's a very, very strange game. It's a strange industry, but hopefully it's turning for the better, whereby like the American or Australian type culture where, the
everybody
PTs,
congratulates everyone, is happy for everyone.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes, please.
One day, we'll see. We'll call it a day, boys, because that's over an hour now. So, no, it was a good one. Next week, you'll see me bald. So that'll be a first. So,
what are you going to wear? You're not going to do it bald. You have to wear a hat or something.
I have to, mate. I can't wear a hat.
Oh, really? That's going to be brilliant. Can't wait.
Yeah. So, I'm also getting that. Did I tell you I'm getting that bit filled in? I did. So,
go a Sharpie.
I know. I'm gonna have fucking. I'll get the spray on here. But it's like that's
Don't
gonna be all
do like You know, do like the emoji filters on here, where like you put a top hat on or shit. Can you can put like glasses on and stuff like that?
Yeah. Whiteboards. No, it's not.
That'd
We
be
could put a
funny.
bald one on in solidarity with you.
Fucking support your cancer, Andy. Don't worry.
No, I can't see where. I know what you're talking about because Reagan does it for work, but
Yeah, like food and that do like the backgrounds, but I'm pretty sure
yeah,
you can wear specs.
fine.
You can wear like those the Snoop Dogg glasses. There is definitely hats because I've seen James wear one on the podcast. There's 100%.
Oh, that's nice. Games. Anyway, think about it for next time. But yeah, if you could figure out how to put bald heads on yourselves for my
If you
benefit, that'd be
figure
great.
it out, we'll do it.
So yeah, cheers for tuning in, guys, and please subscribe, like, and comment. Covered quite a bit there, quite extensive, so that's quite good. So yeah, appreciate you getting this far, and of course follow all of us on Instagram as well. And feel free to DM us with questions, topics you'd like us to cover, and we'll be more than happy to do that. So cheers again.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye.